What's up, everybody? It's your boy Mikhail Kasanova, Hawaii's favorite YouTuber, back at you with another banging video. Host also of Hawaii's #1 podcast, the Kasanova Podcast. I'm back at you with another video. In this one, I'm going to be reviewing the SNK 40th Anniversary Collection. Now, a lot of people may be wondering what all is in this game, what all different compilations of games are added in this package value, and we're going to go into that in this review. One of the things I wanted to say is there are not many games or compilations like this that go over the early era of SNK. Yes, we have the games that cover Samurai Showdown, they cover King of Fighters or World Heroes or any of those other games, but there's not a lot that really covers the early era of SNK. And I think one of the things you'll find in this compilation is exactly that. Now, whether this is going to be a pass or a buy, or if it's Kasanova approved, we will find out in this video. So with that being said, let's go ahead and roll that intro. SNK 40th Anniversary Collection is something that for me is very near and dear to my heart. See, I grew up in the era where arcades were just the thing. If you had quarters, you didn't have schoolwork, you didn't have school to go to or any other outside engagements, you went to the arcade. And a lot of the games that are in this collection are from that era when basically we just went to the arcade to see if we could get the highest score. That was back then what our achievement score was. Like today you got the trophies and achievements. The highest score ranking on arcades was what we were going after. Plus the fun times, the co-op games, and the challenge of playing something difficult was what we really thrived for. And this collection of games is really amazing, in my opinion, because you get a lot of the classics, and more so than that, these are games that basically are the origin points for a lot of characters that a lot of people probably to this day don't really know much about. They may know the characters from King of Fighters, but they may not know the origins, and such as Athena and where she originated from, being the game Athena, as well as Cycle Soldier, Ralph and Clark from the Ikari series. You've got Ikari Warriors 1 through 3, as well as having Takuma Sakazaki. Well, it's assumed it's him, but I just say it's Takuma Sakazaki from Street Smart. As well as, it looks like his wife Renat, in my opinion, the mother of Ryo Sakazaki. Now, with these games, you have such a variety to choose from. You have Alpha Mission, you have Athena, you have Crystallis, which is oh my goodness, Crystallis is a classic. You have Guerrilla War, Ikari Warriors 2, Victory Road, Ikari 3, The Rescue, Iron Tank, The Invasion of Normandy, p.o.w, Prehistoric Isle, Cycle Soldier, Street Smart, SNK 3, and Vanguard. Now, the thing that makes this really cool is that you're able to switch between not only the platform but the region. So if you want to play the Japanese version of Alpha Mission, which would be ASA, you would only press X and it would change the region. The same thing with Athena, with Crystallis, whereas Crystallis is known as Godslayer in Japan. And then you've got Guerrilla War, Ikari Warriors, everything. You've got the American and the Japanese variations on these games. Now, what makes it even better, yes, you have this many games in the collection, but if you include the home console ports of these games as well, you've got even more games to enjoy throughout this collection. Now, that's not to say that every game on this collection let's just face it, not every game on this collection has aged well. You have games that really haven't aged all that well, which the home console port of Alpha Mission hasn't. There are certain ones like Ikari Warriors 1 and 2, they have not aged very well in my opinion. As far as the NES variations that are available on this collection didn't, in my opinion, turn out too well. But there are some gems, there are some true gems on here, like the arcade version of Alpha Mission I think is really good. It's very difficult, but you also have to keep in fact that this is a time before we had, continues and checkpoints, all that. Basically you die, you start over from the beginning. But you know, as far as like a home console port versus an arcade port, arcade original, I'd say when it comes to a game like Athena, it actually plays better when you're playing the console port versus the arcade. I find the arcade version to be very difficult, or you could just say challenging. Either way, I find it difficult, but that's me. You have other games like Crystallis, which is a true classic. I think Crystallis is a game everybody needs to play. I truly enjoyed it. I enjoyed the plot. I enjoyed the gameplay, the graphics. Oh my goodness! The OST on this game is just simply phenomenal. I truly love it. Guerrilla War, I really enjoyed this game. I found this to be, it's easy, pick up and play. This is the first time I ever actually played it. I never got to play this from back in the arcades. I used to see it, but never got around to playing it. And basically, Guerrilla War is an offshoot of Ikari Warriors. So it plays very similar to Ikari Warriors 1 and 2, or more so Ikari Warriors 1, with some incorporations of tank, where you can hop in a tank and you can drive around and shoot, similar to what you can do also within Ikari Warriors as well. So it's a really good game. Little fact, it's kind of interesting that Guerrilla War, the Japanese version anyway, kind of centers around the main characters being Che Guevara and Fidel Castro. You do have some another good one, in my opinion, as far as like good NES port. Ikari 3: The Rescue is really good on the NES. I mean, it's smooth, it's fluid. I really enjoy. Actually, you know, p.o.w, both the arcade and the NES port of the game, I really enjoyed both. I found them to be a lot of fun. Psycho Soldier was a lot of fun too. It's really different than what I'm used to, but I really enjoyed how, you know, jumping, you just press up to jump and you go from there. Like it's really a bare knuckle type game, and I enjoyed it. Street Smart, in my opinion, it's graphically impressive for the time. Gameplay wise, it is kind of lacking, but I mean that's kind of to be expected for like that era. I mean, it looks good, but as far as gameplay, it could be a lot better. I mean, you got your punch, your kick, your backflip, your jump, but you know, you kind of have to trap. It's kind of one of the things of old side-scrolling beat 'em ups. You had to catch enemies on angles, that way, or planes, that way you could attack them efficiently. And that's one of the things you really have to do with this if you're wanting to succeed, because this game ramps up in difficulty. I have no idea how anyone could beat this in arcade back in the day, because after that first fight, the difficulty just skyrockets. And that's, and a lot of people say SNK Boss Syndrome started with Fatal Fury, the King of Fighters. I actually want to say it started well before that with Street Smart, but that's my prerogative. Prehistoric Isle is actually pretty good for a shooter. I think graphically it's really impressive. Gameplay is a lot of fun. There's nothing wrong with that. Not a bad thing. Iron Tank seems to be a console port of KA3, or what's better known as Tank in Japan, which is not too bad. I mean, it's it could be a lot better. I wouldn't go back and play this one personally, just because I kind of felt the controls were a bit stiff even for that time frame, especially after playing something like Ikari 3. But I can understand that Iron Tank, the Invasion of Normandy, came out a lot later. But yes, that is a port of Tank 3 or TNK 3. But yeah, you do have some real good ones. You got some stinkers on here too, but you know, you got a lot of variety, and that's one of the things I really like about this. You have a variety of games to be able to go back and play. Now, there are some things that will be with the SNK 40th Anniversary Collection that I need to inform you of. And that is, there will be a day one patch, and that's going to include a couple things. You're going to have, you know, a new optional single stick mode for all the twin stick games, such as like Ikari Warriors, Victory Road, TNK 3, Guerrilla War. So players can now use one stick to control both movement and aiming simultaneously, as well as with single stick mode enabled, two players can now play multiplayer games together using single Joy-Cons. There's also the added optional auto fire mode for all of the twin stick games, so bullets can now fire automatically in the direction that the second stick is pointed, whereas previously players would have to hold a fire button. There's also going to be a fix for an audio issue that most of us reviewers were running into that was causing some of the games to display basically an incorrect aspect ratio. Or there's going to be a fix to an issue that was causing, for a lot of us reviewers, some of the games to be displaying at an incorrect aspect ratio, as well as improved audio accuracy on console games, which is going to be eliminating the frequent pops heard previously that a lot of us reviewers had experienced. There's also going to be another fix that's going to be for an issue that was causing the rewind feature, which if you hold down the left, the L button would allow you to do rewind. And occasionally, I know for myself, I can't really speak for other reviewers, but for myself, I know it stopped working here and there. But that's enough for some of the updates. But some of the other things that are coming, there is going to be some DLC that will be coming to SNK the 40th Anniversary Collection. There's going to be about 11 DLC titles coming as free editions come December 11th. And while the game is going to be launching on November 13th with 13 titles already on the card, there will be more retro games to enjoy. And out of these 11 DLC titles, 9 will be implemented via patch, while the remaining 2, Beast Busters and SAR Search and Rescue, will be available as a free bundle on the game's store page on the Nintendo eShop on release day, December 11th. So, with that being said, this is overall a really good collection in my opinion. It's definitely going to be something that's aimed more towards us old school gamers and people who grew up in the arcade days, who really like that nostalgia. And like I said earlier, this is an opportunity for a lot of us to, especially if you didn't have the opportunity to know or you are unfamiliar with the background of a lot of the SNK characters, this allows you to see a lot of it. Now, I've heard complaints from a lot of people that, you know, they'd rather have games on here like King of Fighters, Samurai Showdown, Fatal Fury, Art of Fighting, The Last Blade, because they kind of feel a little gypped in the sense that it doesn't come with those more well-known games. But I kind of want to contest that type of notion, because these are games that unless you emulated them, you wouldn't be playing these games. You wouldn't even know where they come from. And since there is such a resurgence with SNK, I think it's really, really good to see the origin of SNK. Now, there's also a couple of other modes here in the collection aside from arcade. You know, if you're at the home menu, you can go into museum, and basically museum gives you 3 different options. You've got SNK Works, SNK Complete Works from 1978 to 1990, bonus features as well as game soundtracks. So in the Complete Works, basically it's details from 1978 to 1990. It gives you all the information about the games, a little thing, you know, some trivia you probably wouldn't know, sketches, artwork. And it's really cool. You get a lot of background information on a lot of these games that you probably wouldn't know, as well as how SNK came about being. Bonus features also gives you the different things such as advertising for like the original SNK games, the cabinets, as well as SNK in the West. It also gives you some behind the scenes artwork and footage of Crystallis' concept art, a game called Tangram Q, The Lost Game, as well as VGL Video Game Land newsletter. You get information from that, arcade guidebooks for various games as well from ASO, Athena, Cario Warriors, Victory Road, Psycho Soldier, and Touchdown Fever. And then you've also got game soundtracks, which with all the games that are on here, you'll be able to go and listen to their OSTs at any point that you want. So this is truly an SNK museum. You've got a history of SNK in the palm of your hands. Things a lot of us probably didn't know, and I greatly appreciate that. You know, it's a collection of classics in your hands. You get to take a piece of SNK history with you wherever you go on Nintendo Switch, which is truly amazing. You can choose from over a dozen titles and experience an intense blast from the past, and even more that are coming. So with that being said, I think this is Kasanova approved. Yes, I said it. SNK 40th Anniversary Collection is Kasanova approved. With that being said, make sure you go out and pick this up on release date on November 13th. It's definitely going to be worth it. I just highly recommend it. Alright, and with that being said, I want to thank SNK. Actually, I also want to thank NIS America and Aaron, one of my contacts with NIS, for sending me a review code for allowing me to review this game. To me, this is definitely something that I feel as an older gamer, someone who grew up in the arcade era before, you know, Fortnite and p.o.w took over and everyone's obsessed with that. As an old school gamer who loves the arcade era, who loves older style games, this is definitely, to me, Kasanova approved. And I think a lot of you will truly appreciate this because it's a lot of fun. Now, maybe the current era of gaming, the younger generation, the millennials growing up that were born after 98 or even after 95, may not enjoy this compilation as much. But for someone like me who grew up in that era, this is definitely something that I find fun. I mean, there's really no other way you're going to be playing, you know, with modern consoles without emulating. There's no other way you're really going to play, you know, Crystallis or anything like that. And the fact of the matter is, you get not only the arcade versions of these games, but also the home console or NES version of these games as well, which I think personally is amazing. But that's my prerogative. Why don't you guys tell me what you think in the comment section down below. If you like this video, make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think. If you didn't, still tell me what you think. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one. As always, as I like to close out my videos, deuces wow, too sweet, be the elite, and make sure you have a great day.